Are you in need of FIFA 22 coins to improve your squad? Look no further than u7buy.com, offering some of the cheapest coins on the market whilst being one of the safest and the most reliable websites around in the market today. Make sure as well, if you do go to the website, you use code VIPER at checkout to get yourself a discount. Let's get into the video. What's going on, guys? Viper here and welcome to another video on the channel. I nearly said player review then, just because I'm so used to doing player reviews recently. Today I have for you my updated post-patch custom tactics. Obviously, EA have just released a new patch onto the game. The game does play relatively different on PS4, not so much on the next-gen console, so PS5 and the Xbox Series X, is it? So these tactics are mostly for PS4 users. They do still work on PS5. I've tested them on both, but mainly used on PS4. I got 10-0 in playoffs with these just today. If you want to come and watch me play my champs and my playoffs, I'm live usually at 11 AM on twitch.tv/Vipalization. Come in and ask me questions or anything you need to know. If you just want to watch what I would like to say is some good gameplay, maybe you might not agree with that, but I like to think I hold myself in quite a high regard to where my gameplay is quite decent. And yeah, these got me 10-0 in playoffs, and I'm hoping they'll do really, really well in champs as well. I'm sure they will. They're very, very basic, as the game has really gone back to the bare bones of FIFA. And it's very, very, very football-like now. Obviously, you can't do the driven passes anymore, nearly as well, which is really, really nice to see, as that was really bringing the game down. It was very, very unrealistic. You just driven past it all over the pitch. It became very, very difficult to stop, and it was very easy to score on counter-attacks. It's still easy to score on counters because of the over-the-top balls, but you can't just aimlessly pinball driven past it anymore, which is really, really nice to see, and a big change in my opinion, and a good change for sure. The gameplay might still not be the best in your guys' opinion, but it's definitely in a better state than it was, specifically on the old gen consoles in my opinion. And this is a team we used. As I said, the tactics are quite bog standard. There's not much going on with them, but I did want to bring them to you because I do believe they are the best currently in the game's meta post-patch. So without further ado, let's get into them. So we're staying in the 4-2-2 here. So as we jump into them, guys, it's, as I said, they are quite standard. But this is what I think is the best style of plays right now in the current meta of the game, which has been slowed down to almost a snail's pace. We're on balanced for the defensive style. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big fan of press after possession loss. But right now, I don't think that is really the best thing to use. If you are going to use anything here, I've tested this out a lot today in playoffs when I was like 9-0, 8-0. Constant pressure is very, very OP right now because you can't play out too well without the driven passes and the way the game kind of plays anyway. The way you press on this game, constant pressure is really, really overpowered at the moment. This needs a nerf desperately. Even with your players fatiguing, it is still really, really good. And this is the other tactic I would use from the start of a game. And try kill somebody by the 45th minute, you know, completely dead the game, by the 45th minute get them to rage quit. If I was in that kind of mood, I'd put on the constant pressure. Other than that, balance is really good because you get a mix of everything. And sometimes your team will press, other times it won't. It will stay in shape. It's just a really nice balance to have, and that is why we are on that currently. But the constant pressure is really, really good at the moment as well, for the reasons I just said. Because you can't just, you know, you can't get out very easily now. And constant pressure is really broken this year. Width is always 50 for me. You want the balance. You don't want to be too compact. You don't want to allow the wings to get exposed. And you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to allow yourself to get hit down the middle quite easily if people are playing narrow. So it's very important to keep this on 50, in my opinion. 55 depth. Now, you could try this a bit lower. But the lower you go, you're just inviting too much pressure, right? You're inviting finesse shots, which I don't want to do. So 55, a bit above average, but not to where you're going to be getting done on the over-the-top balls, which are really broken at the moment as well. So we'll keep that on 55, just so we have the right balance. I like kind of pressing a bit higher with my defence anyway. Is a bit more risky, but if you're confident that your centre-backs are very good, have high aggression, this will work for you a treat. Now, build-up players on balanced. I have tried slow build-up a lot with Nep in co-op. It's not good. You just turtle with it. In terms of long ball's okay. and probably fits into the meta quite well right now. Obviously with the over-the-top balls, as I've already said to you guys earlier. But I don't want to just be playing long balls all the time. I want to be able to get a mixture of a lot of things in that regard. So sometimes they'll push more players up. Sometimes they will look for the long balls, and sometimes we'll hold the ball and we'll build up slowly. It kind of depends really on the player you're playing against, and balance is the best for that as well. And that is why we have that on balance alongside the defensive style. So this is very, very bog standard stuff here. As you can see, we're playing very, very simple. And that's what this game has gone back to right now. It's a very simple game with lots of passing, lots of playing around your back. Well, not playing around your back, so to speak, but recycling the play and looking for the right option. Balls switches quite a lot. It's a very, very, very sweaty, slow game at the moment. And I think it's going to stay that way just because of the lack of being able to get out of your defensive third so quickly now. It's going to be quite a slow build-up play. But obviously, we don't want to use slow build-up because then we will seriously turtle. That is why we're on balance here. Now, chance creation. This is something I'm really, really enjoying using. The direct passing, I think, offers you great things. Obviously, it worked better when you're able to driven pass all the time. And let's not get it twisted. You can still do a driven pass if the area on the pitch is right. But it won't work. I'd say it works probably 25% of the time. So it's very important that you don't get caught up in the driven pass meta still. It's going to take a while for us all to get rid of that out of our minds. But this is still really, really good. The runs that the strikers make are incredible. They kind of like sit on the... It's kind of like getting behind. They really do sit on the shoulder and then kind of twist in behind. It's really, really nice. And with the strikers I have, Icardi and Ronaldo, it's really nice to have. If you haven't watched my Icardi review, I highly recommend you do watch that. He is my favourite striker on the game currently. He's very, very good. And then for our width, we've got 55. I don't want to go so narrow, even though playing narrow is kind of my style. Because the narrow right now, with the patch, is not so good. One thing you'll get in the narrow is the ability to drive, passes through the middle, and you just can't do it as well now. So it's going to take a bit of time for me to relearn the full 1-2-1-2 narrow to be able to play it again. And that's why we're in the 4-2-2 right now, right? Because with the 55 width as well, obviously we like going on the byline still. Doesn't work as well now either with the driven pass nerf. But going on the byline is still good. Even crossing the ball right now, if you have a Cardi, for example, who's got 99 jump in, he's a great asset in the air. And that is why we want to have a little bit more width. And you also want to just spread the park a little bit when you can. It's very important that you do recycle the play now. And having this on a bit higher, you'll have wide options, where you can switch the play quite often. And that is why that is on 55. Players in the box I still like to keep high. Just so, once I do get to the byline and have a multitude of options. That is why we like to have that on 7, maybe 8 as well. Up to you in that regard. But this needs to be high in my opinion. So you do have options when you do get down to the byline. And you don't just have one guy in the box. You'll be susceptible to counter-attacks here. But if you're going to get counter-attacked, you're going to get counter-attacked no matter what. Doesn't matter if you have one player in a box or 10. It doesn't really matter. You will still get hit on the break no matter what. So having this a bit higher, in my opinion, is an important thing to score more goals. And corners and free kicks have this on 2 or lower. Obviously, the corners have just been nerfed as well. So just make sure you have it on 2 or lower to be able to deal with the... you don't want to have this on 3 so you don't get hit on the break so hard as well. A lot of this is so you don't get hit on the counter so hard. You also get hit on the counter, but we're trying to slow down the process of that and have more bodies back so we don't get hit so hard. That's the best way I can put it. Now, lads, moving on to the instructions for the strikers. We just have these on stay forward. You could put stay central on them as well. I just like them to be able to drift when they want to offer different options. And I do not mind Target Man. Target Man's okay, especially on somebody like Icardi, who's got a lot of physical presence, is very, very strong. I wouldn't mind using that, but for me, I like mixed attack. In terms of getting behind, I really don't like getting behind this year, other than when I use it on the right forward and left forward in the 4-3-2-1. So, don't use getting behind whatever you do. It's really, really, your strikers will play one way and one way only. You don't want that. I don't want them to just play getting behind all game. It's very, very poor to play that way, as against a good player, they can just track back with their centre-backs and you're done in for the entire game. So make sure you don't put getting behind on, in my personal opinion. You get a little bit of that kind of style with the direct passing, but it's nowhere near as aggressive as when you put it on in the instructions. So I just like to stay forward. You don't need their help defensively. You need no defensive support from them. Just keep them on stay forward and you will be fine. In terms of the cams now, we've got them both on get into the box for cross and basic defensive support. They don't drop too deep when you're defending, but they do just offer something extra there if you do need them. That is why I like to keep that on get into box for cross. It's very important that you have two very quick players here. Obviously, I've got Dino. I need to get rid of him ASAP. He gets subbed off every single time at half time for either Ziyech or VJ. Mostly VJ. But I can't stress enough how important it is to have fast players in this position here. Passing as well, if you can get good passing, is very important. Somebody like Messi with a Hunter would be perfect here. But Mbappe's not the best, but Ronaldinho offers really good passing. So it's kind of an equaliser there. You need to try and get somebody that's very quick and very good at passing. Somebody like Ziyech is perfect for this. Now, as we move on to our two CDMs, we've got Aouar and Fofana. Your more attacking option, make sure you have them on just cover centre. Allow them to go forward when you do attack. Having somebody like Aouar here, who's great at passing, great dribbling, and can defend, is really, really nice. You get the good agility and balance, the okay defensive stats, and the great shooting and passing. He's very, very good in this position here, where he can kind of drift, allow himself to go forward, and act as a fifth attacker, really. It's really, really nice to have that. And he's an absolute beast. I can't recommend him highly enough. And make sure you do have something like this in your team when you're using two CDMs. It's very, very important, in my opinion. And we've got headliner Fofana next to him. We've got him on stay back and cover centre. Once again, very important that you have a big, bulky, fast CDM here, as it offers you some real solidity defensively, good strength, good agility and balance, good passing, good weak foot, great pace, awesome card. I can't stress how important as well, similar to Aouar, it is to have somebody like this in your other CDM role. Your more defensive option, having somebody this good, this powerful, is paramount to success in any two CDM formation. So try and make sure you have somebody like Fofana and Aouar. It's a great combination of players. One that's really, really sticky on the ball, and one who's a bit of a powerhouse. That is the mixture that you want at CDM. You've got to make sure they're very, very fast as well, which we have got. Now, our fullbacks are just on stay back here. I want to test balanced, because I think having your fullbacks go forward on this game is very important. But just because I wanted to have a defensively solid side here, I decided to put them on stay back, and they were good. They were good on stay back, but against players that I'm dominating, but I just can't get the goal. Having the extra bodies forward is really nice to have, and you can have them on step up then as well. If you're dominating again, make another tactic and just have them on balance and step up, so they offer you a bit of a forward option when you're attacking as well, which is really nice to have. Or you can just use a D-pad and just put the overlapping fullbacks or attacking fullbacks. You can just do that to override the stay back while attacking, which is really nice as well. Maybe you're probably better off doing that than just putting these on balanced or join the attack. Just learn how to do that, and that's perfect, really. Now, the reason this formation is so good, guys, I'm gonna end off with this, is because you've got the kind of 4-2-3-1 setup where you've got the two DMs, and they offer you that defensive cover. But the big difference, and something that I think is really important right now in this game, is two strikers. Two strikers right now for the interplay and the interlinks you can do between them two is really, really good. One striker at the moment I don't quite like. I've tried the 4-2-3-1 quite a lot recently, since the patch, since yesterday. I just don't like it, since Tuesday. I really don't like just having one striker. I feel they get isolated, and you have to work the opportunity so hard to get a good chance. With two strikers, you'll find yourself creating a lot more and creating quicker attacks, in my opinion. That's what I really, really like this formation currently. It's my favourite formation since the patch. So take that whichever way you will, I suppose. My favourite formation, my tactics and instructions right now. Hope you guys like the tactics. Go and let me know how you get on with them. They are very, very balanced and will hopefully serve you well in champs this weekend. important weekend this weekend to get good rewards, obviously with Team of the Year starting. So guys, go and give this a go. Go and give it a go in Rivals. Get used to it. Great formation, great tactics, and great instructions. But guys, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you never miss a tactic video. But guys, that's going to be it from me for now, so take care.